There are a ton of awesome vehicles in the Star Wars universe, some ranging from the Clone Wars era to the ones in the Galactic Civil War. But sadly, however, there are some exceptions. Which is why I am making my top 5 worst Star Wars vehicles. For this list, we're going to be primarily looking at land vehicles from the movies, the TV shows, and the video games. So, without further ado, let us begin. Starting us off at number 5, we have the AT-ST. Okay, I actually like the Chicken Walker, but the only reason why I hate it is because of its problems. The first of which being it can't hold its own in a fight. I mean, sure, it's great against infantry, but besides infantry, it's pretty much weak against everything else, including rocket launchers, rancors, logs, and especially rebel tanks. Without the backup of an AT-AT, AT-STs continuously lost against rebel tanks. This became such a problem that Imperial tacticians had to slap on anti-vehicle weapons just to give it a fighting chance, and to reduce replacement costs. And the second problem being top choice for Grand Theft Wookiee. Rolling along in the number 4 spot, we have the Hailfire droid. This two-wheeled bad boy rolls around the battlefield carrying 30 homing missiles. This vehicle is very good against Republic tanks and gunships. That is, until it runs out of missiles. Once out of missiles, the Hailfire droid becomes very vulnerable to the enemy. The only way to defend itself is to use its double blaster cannons, but those are only good against infantry and other soft targets. Not the type of weapon to be used against a TX-130. At number 3, we have the AT-OT, or the All-Terrain Open Transport. Right off the bat, the name gave away the main problem with this vehicle. It's an open transport. Which means that all 34 clone troopers aboard that transport are exposed to the elements and the enemy. If I was in charge in designing this thing, I would give it a roof and call it the AT-CT. The All-Terrain Covered Transport. At number 2, we have the AT-DP. This Imperial Walker is literally just a similar version to an AT-ST. The only differences being it's taller and it has one chin-mounted laser cannon. That's it! This walker's primary use was to guard Imperial installations. But how can it guard an installation if it just has one gun? If you needed to protect your Imperial installation, you are going to need more than just one gun. You are going to need multiple guns. Anywho, in my mind, this vehicle is absolutely pointless and does not need to exist. Coming in at number 1 for the worst Star Wars vehicle is... drumroll please. The TIE Mauler. It's a TIE fighter. It's a TIE fighter on tank treads. What? Is this the best that they could come up with? What is this? What am I looking at? Okay, I'm sorry, but this is a waste of time and money. You know what? Do you know what I'd do? Do you know what I would do? I would spend my money making actual TIE fighters instead of this pathetic excuse for a tank. Speaking of which, what's the point in this tank? What's it good against? What's its capabilities? Well, get this. It uses its 3 blaster cannons against infantry, as well as using its tank treads to crush them to death. For its special ability, it just blows up. Straight up just self-destructs. Just blows up. Why would this tank's special ability be self-destruct? What's the point in putting a self-destruct mechanism on it? What's the point? In fact, what's the whole point of this vehicle? It's pointless. It should not exist. I'm sorry, but this vehicle has to go down as the worst Star Wars vehicle ever. Thank goodness they didn't make another version of it.